Okay, pre-algebra, here are some examples of how to do the equations that we did today. One side of your paper has equations where the x has a negative sign and the other side has two-step equations. So in the side with where the x has a negative sign, you're just going to start by doing a regular equation. So we want to get rid of the 4 here, and the way that we do that is we're going to subtract 4 because it's a positive 4 because you don't see any sign out in front. So those would cancel out. And then since we did minus 4 over here, we need to come over here and do minus 4 here. And negative 3 minus 4 means that we're going to add them together and get negative 7. The signs are the same here, so we add and keep the same sign. Now what you have left on the left side is this negative x, so that needs to come down next to the negative 7. Now what you do is, remember, when we're solving an equation, we're not trying to find out what negative x equals, we need to know what x equals. So in order to continue solving, we are going to do the opposite on both sides. So I'm going to change this negative x to a positive x, and I'm going to change the sign of the negative 7 and make it a positive 7. So the way that you do it again is just to change both signs. Since they both happen to be negative, they both change to positive. And that makes you have a value for x, which is the whole point of solving the equation. So let's do another one over here. We have negative x plus 7 equals 12. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of this plus 7. I'm going to do that by subtracting it. So I'm going to cancel that out. And then I'm going to put minus 7 under the 12. Here's the line. And then I'm left with 12 minus 7 is 5. And over here I'm left with my negative x. I'm going to bring it down and get negative x equals 5. Well, I don't want to know what negative x equals, remember, so I'm going to do the opposite on both sides. Just change both of the signs, and that gives us a positive x, and now this 5 changes to a negative 5. And that is the answer on that one. Looking at our two-step equations, I have 4 examples here for you. On the first one, we have 3x plus 4 equals 19. Whenever you have an equation where you have multiple things happening to your x, you're going to start by getting rid of whatever is being added or subtracted first. So the first thing I'm going to get rid of is this plus 4. So what I'll do to get rid of it is say minus 4. That cancels it out. Put a minus 4 under my 19, and that leaves me with 15. What's left on the left side is this 3x. I'm going to bring that down right here. And now I see that I have a multiplication equation. And the way that I solve that is by dividing by 3. That cancels out my 3. Come over here and divide by 3. And now I have x equals 5. Because what's left over here is the x. And that is your solution. Looking at the next example, 2x minus 5 equals negative 25. I'll start by drawing my line. I need to get rid of the minus 5 first, because we always get rid of what's being added or subtracted first. I'm going to write plus 5. That cancels that out. I write a plus 5 under the negative 25. And since the signs are different, I'm going to subtract, and 25 minus 5 is 20. 25 was bigger than 5, so my sign is negative. I'm still left with my 2x, so I'm going to bring it down and say 2x equals negative 20. But now I need to finish solving for x by getting rid of this 2. I get rid of a 2 that's being multiplied by x by dividing, so that would cancel that out. Come over here and divide by 2, and I'm left with the x, and negative 20 divided by 2 is negative 10, and that is your solution. Looking at these last 2 examples, I have x being divided by 3 minus 4 equals negative 2. But again, we get rid of whatever's being added or subtracted first, so I'm going to get rid of this minus 4 by going plus 4. Cancels that out. Come over here and write plus 4. And negative 2 plus 4 is a positive 2. Signs are different, so we subtract and use the sign of the bigger number. 4 is bigger than 2, so it's a positive 2. I'm going to write x over 3 equals 2. And now I want to get rid of this 3 on the bottom by multiplying by 3 over 1. That lets me cancel the 3's out, leaves me with just my x by itself. I come over here and I write times 3 over 1. And again, you didn't really need the over 1 because the 2 is a whole number. And I have x equals 6. Very last equation. 2x over 5 plus 7 equals 11. Again, getting rid of the 7 first because it's being added. I'm going to subtract. Lets me cancel that out. Come to the other side and subtract. 11 minus 7 is 4. I have 2/5 or 2x over 5 equals 4 left over. I'm going to write that down here now. There we go. And the way they get rid of the 2/5 is by multiplying by the reciprocal. So if I do that, I can cancel those out and cancel those out. So that leaves me with just the x left on this side, but I have to come over here and write times 5 over 2. Since I did it to this side, I need to do it to this side. If I put that over 1, I can now cross cancel. That's a 1, that is a 2, and 2 times 5 is 10. That is your answer, and if you have any questions, of course, you can email me. Use the Contact Me form on the right side of the blog, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.